How's it going, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel and checking out my videos. This right here is a 1970 Honda SL350, and it's kind of presenting me with a bit of a dilemma. All right, so the bike you're looking at right here is one of two that I bought from a gentleman that lived probably about 40 miles south of me. I picked these up about, I guess it's been about 2 years now. He had run an ad on Craigslist for two old Honda motorcycles, and he wanted $100 for one and $150 for the other. This one right here is the one that cost $150. This is the SL350. It's a 1970, and the one that cost $100 was a 1970 CB350. Both of them were in extremely rough condition, and I'll put pictures up on the screen right now so you can kind of check it out, the condition that they were in when I bought them. But I went ahead and picked them up anyways because, you know, 250 bucks for a couple motorcycles that I could just kind of throw in the backyard and wait to get around to in a couple years was, you know, sounded pretty good to me. So I brought them home, and I got to tearing apart both of these motorcycles. And this SL350 right here, believe it or not, is not in too bad a condition, but as you can see, it's missing a whole bunch of parts. Now, some of the stuff I had already taken off of this bike. You can see it's missing the engine and the gas tank and the seat. The engine is inside the garage. I've already torn it apart and it looks pretty good on the inside, but it was missing the carburetors. So it kind of had, I don't know, a little bit of sand and dirt down inside the intake ports. But, I mean, the pistons weren't in too bad a condition, and the bottom of the engine and the transmission, everything was still full of oil, and it looked really good and everything. It has the front and the back wheels on it, so those are also in pretty good condition. It still has the wiring on it. The gas tank that was on it was kind of beat to crap, so I ended up just throwing that thing in the garbage. And before you get mad, no, it was not worth saving. It was rusted out and just completely beat up. The seat itself was completely trashed. It wasn't in original condition whatsoever. Somebody had reupholstered it with like couch furniture or something like that, and it didn't have the original seat pan, so I just kind of threw it in the garbage. But we can take a closer look at this motorcycle here. As you can see, it's in really, really rough condition. The gauge is right here. I don't even think these things probably hadn't been hooked up since probably 2 days after it was bought. But the last time this bike was even registered, the plate that was on it said 1980, I believe. And this was pretty much just used as a farm bike out in the hop fields down south of here. And funny enough, the exhaust system that the guy had on this motorcycle was just fence posts. It must have been pretty damn loud, but it had the pipes coming out of the heads, and it curved down. It had about 12 inches of factory pipes on it, and then it turned into fence posts, galvanized fence posts. But anyways, yeah, the whole bike itself it's pretty rough, but I think it's savable in this condition. And what's really interesting about this model year, this 1970 Honda SL350, is it shares the same frame as the CB350, because this was their first year. Now, if you look at this down tube right here, this is a 1 year only that it had a single down tube on it. After that, they went to a double down tube on it. And also around the back right here, as you can see, where the rear foot pegs basically bolt to the frame right there, that's the same as a CB350. And I've looked at some pictures of 71, 72 SL350s, and it looked to me like those are quite a bit different. One difference, though, that I did notice is that this being an SL350, it didn't come with a center stand like the CB350s did. Now, there's some other small differences on this bike, like this back loop right here. This is an SL350 thing because it had a different rear fender on it than the CB350 did. But other differences are obviously the forks on this one's different. I guess they, you know, put taller forks on it, so it had better ground clearance. And this one also came with a taller front rim on it than the CB350 did. I really like these. These look really cool. Nice looking. I like the mechanical bits, you know, with the brakes and all that stuff like that. It's really cool looking. The back rim is also in pretty good condition. Like I said, the wiring is all here, but if this is going to be restored, all this stuff would be trashed in favor of like new modern electronics. Go with something that's more up to date and just more reliable. I don't think I'd want to even send a current through these wires right now. I'd probably end up burning something up, but it's all there, so I guess that's a plus. So I guess the whole dilemma with this bike, I kind of want to fix it up and restore it and kind of modify it. The dilemma is that this bike and the other one doesn't have a title for the frame, so that's kind of going to be a problem. But Anyways, we'll go in the garage now and I'll show you exactly what I have as far as what I have for the CB350. All right, so here's the CB350. It's a 1970. It might be a 1971 because I'm looking at the tag right here. I don't know if you can see that, if the camera's gonna focus on this. And I apologize if the audio or the video is kind of different on this one. I'm using a DJI Osmo Pocket to film this one with because, well, I didn't want to get my other camera wet and it's kind of raining outside. But if you look at the tag right here, it's got a date code on there of 10 of 70. Now, with older cars, if it had a date code that was that late in the year, that would mean it would be a model year production for the following year. Like if this was a Mustang or something like that, then that would mean that this would be a 1971 Mustang. Now, I'm not really sure if that's the way it works with old motorcycles or not, but so it's kind of up in the air as to what year this frame is. It's either a 70 or a 71. Basically what you're looking at right here is all that's left of that motorcycle, the 70 CB350, after I took it all apart and went over some of the parts, and anything that's not still sitting here on the floor was completely rotted out and ended up in the trash can. So I basically ended up with just a frame left over. I do have a 1970. I think this is a 70. It could be a 71. Who knows what it is. It's a CB350 gas tank, an original gas tank that I bought off of eBay for a couple $100. And it's in pretty good condition. It needs a little bit of love on the inside, obviously, and some. It might need some patching on the bottom, but these things are so hard to come by in usable condition, I had to go ahead and pick it up. Now, I do have some other bits and pieces left over from the SL350 out back. I have the headlight bucket for it. Like I said, I have the engine for it. Just a couple other odds and ends and things like that. I don't have carburetors. I did have a set of carburetors that I managed to scrounge up for one of the two of these bikes, but I ended up putting them, I rebuilt the carburetors. I'll put a picture of that up here too. And I put them on this other 1969 Honda CB350 that I'd bought. I kind of pushed these two frames to the side and decided to work on the 69 because I wanted something to modify, and the 69 CB350 was in such good condition. It was like something excellent to start with. However, I really wanted a bike that I can customize and just basically do whatever the heck I wanted to. And I kind of got to thinking about it, and that 69 CB350 was such a nice survivor bike. I just couldn't bring myself to do any cutting on it or modifications or anything else like that that I really wanted to do. So I ended up selling it to a young boy. Well, he's probably 18 or 19 years old, but some kid from Seattle basically came over here and bought the bike from me. Now, I did make a pretty damn good profit off it. That 69 I paid, what was it, $800 for? The guy wanted 12 or 11 for it, but he couldn't get it to run, and I knew it was just trashed carburetors, but I ended up picking it up for $800, and I got the bike running and did some work to it, put a new battery and, you know, all that stuff you do to get an old bike working. But I ended up selling it to that kid for, I think it was, what did I sell it to him for? $2,200. So I made a pretty decent profit off of it. But anyways, I left those carburetors on that bike because, you know, I made enough money off the kid, and I figured I'd give him some, you know, brand new rebuilt carburetors for it. So I'm gonna have to come up with some carburetors and just a whole bunch of other odds and ends parts. So here's what I'm thinking. I have this frame and also the SL350 frame out back. I don't know which one I should build. Neither one of them have titles, so I'd have to basically go through the whole process here in Washington State of titling an old abandoned motorcycle, which basically means you have to take it down to the sheriff's department, the DMV, have it inspected, make sure it's roadworthy. Basically, they'll give you a registration for it, and after that, you have to wait, I think it's 3 years. Yeah, 3 years for a clean title to come in the mail, which is really ridiculous. But so I'm kind of hesitant as if I want to, you know, if I want to put money into either one of these bikes, because I could dump, you know, $3,000-4,000 into building a motorcycle and have absolutely nothing to show for it. So I've got these two bikes. They're basically blank canvases. These are old wrecks that nobody would even blink an eye at. If I were to cut on these things, modify them, just build them out however the heck I wanted to, that's not going to offend any of the purists. And honestly, you know, it wouldn't bother me because I just couldn't bring myself to cut up that 69 350. I just couldn't do it. But so real quick, let's take a look at this engine. This is the engine that came out of the 1970 CB350. This thing had, it had full covers on it. The only thing that was missing off of this motor was the carburetors. And from it sitting outside for a couple decades, this is basically what happened to the engine. It is completely frozen up, seized up. It will not spin. And this is as far as I was able to take it apart. This engine is complete garbage. Luckily, we don't have to use this one. I just kind of keep it around for a conversation piece. The clutch basket is so old and brittle. You can just basically take that with a pair of pliers and just snap those things off. It's incredibly bad condition, but down inside the cylinder bores are pretty bad too, as you can see there. But anyways, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I go ahead and drop the money into these things and start building one of these bikes? I mean, it's been extremely cold for the last few weeks. I think I'm socked into the winter for the next couple months, but one thing I will have to mention, if I take on one of these projects and kind of make it, a Gasworks garage sort of build, this isn't going to be like I'm going to update you daily or even weekly. This will be a build that will just kind of have to happen as the money is available. This channel, even me being monetized, it doesn't make enough money to barely, put gas in my car. So I can't count on, money from YouTube revenue to build this motorcycle for me. But I think it would be actually a really fun project, kind of like an ongoing, a long-term project, something to work on and build when I can't go out and ride, such as now. I mean, I do have work that I could be doing on this motorcycle. Obviously, I'm going to have to find somebody here locally, within driving distance that I can take the engine to and have it rebuilt, because I did pull it apart just to make sure all the guts and everything were in good condition, which they are. So I'd have to have that engine rebuilt, which probably going to cost $500 or $600 if I'm lucky. It could be even more than that, but yeah. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Should I save this motorcycle? Should I take all my pieces and kind of put them together and do the whole eBay thing and put some money into this thing? Is it really worth it, or would it be like me throwing money down the garbage because of the whole title situation? I don't know. You guys let me know. Anyways, let me know what you think. I want to thank you again for watching and stopping by the channel. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot in the analytics and all that stuff. Until the next video, everybody ride safe and have a good day, and we will talk to you later.